welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Okay, let me see who was here first. Blue Draws, thank you so much for being first. Followed by Judy Matasid, Martine, Adrian Burrow, Laura Murray, and hmm, oh, CK, Rodney Jackson, and a host of friends and others. Hey, Elaine Parker. Wow, you're about as dependable as Haley's Comet. Oh, wow. Um, what was that the guys that they have at Yellowstone, Old Faithful? Anyway, lip balm. Lip balm. I'm about to split my lip. Okay. Disaster averted. Hello, Lydia Washington, Marcy Foreman. Hello. Okay. Excuse me. There we go. Slides are ready. Big day in London. Prince Harry's Invictus 10th anniversary service, St. Paul's Cathedral review, plus the firm and the media's. Well, the firm and the media, they didn't seem to take it so well. They have dispatched all of the usual suspects to go out and try to make their case, but we'll get to that later. Okay. Well, I tell you, Allison Hammond, ever since she met that young man, she hasn't been singing anything bluer than Zippity Doodah. Oh, well. I don't know if she's ever had a hip replacement, but she might need one. Okay. That's enough of that vulgarity. Let us move on. Let me move this over here. That'll make life easier for me. There we go. Okay, we are good to go. All right. So this is how things kind of started out, because sometimes you have to snap back and set the record straight. CEO of the Invictus Games, Dominic Reed, OBE, and Prince Harry, founder of the Invictus Games. It was always his patronage, not a royal patronage. It's not in the gift of the royal family. It's his thing, and we're delighted to have him as our patron. So, like I said, sometimes you have to snap back and set the record straight, because otherwise people tend to forget themselves, I think. But, well, anyway, Dominic was having none of that, and he set the record straight. So good for him. Our chief executive, Dominic, was there from the start and told me it was always more than a patronage for Harry. It's a genuine passion, and he doesn't believe in split in the family has any kind of a negative impact. There's a business of him. I'm sorry. There's the business of him being in a different place. Mr. Reed said, so I see him face to face less regularly. We all do, but he does join all of our meetings and he does come to all of our events. So no, I mean it was always his patronage, not a royal patronage, et cetera, et cetera. It is not in the royal family's gift. So there you go. That is Harry's patronage. He is the founder. And thank you, Dominic Reed, for setting the record straight. Okay. I think they understood what he said. Now, Misan Harriman was one of the first people today to throw support out there, just to remind Harry, you got a friend, you got a friend, winter, spring, summer, and fall. All you have to do is call, and I will be there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. So, you did this, bro. Here's a 10 years of changing lives and saving lives at the Invictus Games Foundation at We Are Invictus. So there you go. Once again, just in case anybody has forgotten, this is Harry's thing. Harry made Invictus possible. And yes, it was something that he kind of picked up from the Warrior games in the US. But just like Harry said in the Me You Can't See, this needs to go international. Well, Oprah wanted to do something here in the US, and Harry said, no, it's a global thing. And it was the same with the Invictus games. Yes, the Warrior games is a great idea. It was someone else's idea. But remember, it was what do you call it? It was Harry who said, we need to make this global. Okay. And check it out. I am 10. So, this is a card that accompanied the program at the St. Paul's Cathedral. And so, I believe it's something of a postcard, perhaps. And they had a program with the order of service. So, that was very cool. All right. Continuing here. And there is Harry looking like a gazillion bucks, looking very, very dapper. And he's wearing, of course, his usual medals, the one for Afghanistan. And then there's a three for the Jubilees of the Queens. And I believe those marks all of the Jubilees where he has participated. Marcy Foreman says, love you, Baron, at Royal Sussex. Good King Harry, no eggs or booze, just cheers. Service is universal. Thank you so much, Marcy Foreman, for 13 months membership here at Royal Sussex. Greatly appreciate that. And Elaine Parker, my faithful friend, thank you. Thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you so much for being here tonight and also being a member of Royal Sussex. Okay. And there are some very, very crisp 4K HD images of Prince Harry. Look at that suit. Look at the sheen on that finely tailored suit. My God, he looks good. He looks good. You know, Superman had his cape, and I guess Harry has his Dior suit or whoever this maker is, but yeah, he's looking good. You got this, Harry. But yeah, you know, it reminds me of the wedding when Meghan walked herself down the aisle, partially walked herself down the aisle, and it, you know what? It kind of echoes that where it's almost full circle, where Harry finds himself without his parent there to support him, just as Meghan found herself without her father to walk her down the aisle. You get me? So, you know, it's a little abstract, but yeah, that's very interesting the way this works out. I tell you, there's something about those dads. Those deadbeat dads is what they have been calling Charles all day on the Twitter. And here's this one. I'm telling you, there has been some fantastic photography. I love it. There's the wedding band. Now, remember, you guys, no matter what Harry appears in these photos, remember he is wary, hard torn, disappointed. sullen, and some of those other big words that they use to describe a person who is unhappy and unsure of themselves. Right there, you see it? Oh, he's on the verge of collapse, you guys. He is on the verge of collapse. Maybe I have been doubting the tabloid media too much. And of course, enters the aunt and his uncle. Is that the aunt? I think so, right? Certainly not. I mean, that's not his wife. No, that's the aunt. That's the aunt, I think. But anyway, there is the Earl Spencer, Charles Spencer. And of course, when Princess Diana's father passed away, he became the Earl Spencer. And look at the crowd. What a interesting thing it must have been for the people on the tour buses. You know, you're in London, you're here to see all the sights and everything, and you just happen upon Prince Harry. Now, I'm doubting if they stuck around long enough to see Harry, but it is possible because I'm pretty sure that is one of the stops on the tour route where you can just get off the bus and go and visit St. Paul's. Well, for now, they couldn't possibly go inside of the church, but it is pretty special if you ever get the opportunity to do it. I did it back in 2007 and haven't been back in there since, but it is a very special place. Ah, look at that. Look at that. I love this one. I think this is one of my favorites. I love this one. Yeah, this one is pretty cool. And again, I mean, can we talk about that suit? Can we talk about that suit? Yeah, he handling his business. He is definitely handling his business. What's that? The crowds were on both sides. Okay. Oh yeah, no more TK Maxx. Yeah, you know, it was a feeble attempt by the so-called working royals to try to upstage Harry, and it really just comes off as petty and childish. I did see a picture of someone with some jam, and yeah, you know what? More power to him. But yeah, so Harry is here in his moment, and it. Oh, okay. Wait, I'll get to that later. I'll get to that later. I'll show you that much later. But they did their best to go there. They did their best to go there. Yes, Charles III, bitter, 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 bitter. And you know, somebody needed to say it. Somebody needed to say it.
Bitter. And you know, somebody needs to say it. Bitter.
Bitter,
Bitter,
bitter.
bitter, bitter.
Well, thank you, Deb89. Thank you so much for reminding us how pathetically bitter they are. Okay. And that one right there. Oh, the crowd was huge. Yes. Yes. And you know what? They tried to say that the crowd was mostly tourists. Well, let me tell you a little thing about that. Wouldn't that fly in the face of what they have been saying about the appeal of the royal family? Because I'm going to tell you, I don't know how many times I have heard a squatty from the UK, even from London, who never knew that there was a troop in the colors. Okay? They didn't even know about it. And so they always say that the royal family brings a lot of tourist dollars, right? Well, what's wrong with Harry bringing tourists? What is wrong with Harry bringing tourists? I don't see a problem with it. I don't see anything inconsistent about that. Either you want the tourists there for the royals or you don't. But this was every bit a royal visit. And look at that. Now, um, there was press from all over. And yes, a lot of the foreign media carried the story. So I don't know what kind of coverage they had at the garden party. I'm sure it didn't rival this. I am so certain it didn't rival this because just think how many nations are represented in the Invictus. So I'm just going to go out on the limb and say that the garden party probably didn't receive as much coverage. Let's see. Black Queen says, "Hey, Baron, everyone. Stuck at the airport for almost 5 hours now, waiting for my son to get a flight. Everything delayed due to, oh, really? Thunderstorms and tornadoes on his route. Another 2 hour wait. Oh, my goodness. And then you got to go an hour and a half home. Oh, well, at least you got us to help you pass the time, I hope. But wow, sorry about that. But yeah, we have been hit with some pretty tough storms the past couple days. Well, thanks for checking in with us, letting us know that you are okay, and just be patient. And very soon, the storms will pass. And yeah, and you know, when there's a storm in another city, there's a ripple effect that goes through the entire system. That does happen. And of course, you probably recognize David. Oh, you know what? And I knew it earlier. David. Wait, don't nobody help me. David, I got my eyes closed. Okay, what the heck is it? The lawyer. Mm-hmm. I'm waiting. Sherborne, thank you. Yes, David Sherborne. Oh, what was that? 800 people showed up at the St. Paul's? You know, at full capacity, you know, if they fill up all the wings of the church, because of course it's shaped like a cross, but at full capacity, I believe that uh, how many did they say that church could hold? Was it 2,000, something like that? But it's a huge church. Huge. Absolutely huge. Yes, there's David, also wearing a very expensive suit. But you know what? He reminds me of the Rat Pack. He just reminds me of the Rat Pack. I'm waiting for him to sing. You know, he looks like one of those crooners. You know what I'm saying? He looks like one of those old school crooners. I bet he can sing. Oh, 800 inside. Okay. And there were 2,000 were outside. Okay. Good numbers then. Very good numbers. No booze and no eggs. Yeah. All right. And then right here it says the customary train pleb picture off to St. Paul's Cathedral for the Invictus game, 10-year service. And he says it's very warm, so top day needed. What's that? Top day needed? So top day needed? Okay, whatever that means. But anyway, this is one of the people going to the service, and there were quite a few people who posted their journey. And because I don't know how public they are, I decided not to include their names. Um, but yeah, so there's a couple more right here. Train picks en route to London for Invictus game, 10-year service. And no, this train isn't our train. Oh, they must be running late. And here's another one, London bound. All right. And then over here today, we gather as a community in St. Paul's to pay thanks to a decade of life changing, saving work owed much to the vision of this man. I still pinch myself that I am Invictus. I am. Thank you. Aw, that's really cool. Oh, he says, I'm raising money for Invictus here. Very, very cool. What an amazing day. I put a video together earlier. I hope you guys had a chance to see it. I took all of the best highlights that I could possibly share and included them in the video. I hope you enjoyed it. And over here it says, yeah, today Invictus marks a decade of changing lives and saving lives through sport, a truly incredible foundation that means so much to me. Long may the fantastic work Invictus does continue. So cool. So cool. And here's Harry taking his seat with the fam. Oh, thank you, Maggie. I appreciate that. And there's a view inside of St. Paul's Cathedral. And there's the Great Dome. And here you can see the service of Thanksgiving for the 10th anniversary of the Invictus Games Foundation. And there's that black card that I mentioned. At least I think that's a card. But that's very cool. I was just talking about postcards yesterday, right? And over here, Mimi Ricks, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you for being a member of Royal Sussex. And as always, thank you for being here. You could have been anyplace else, but I'm so glad you're here to enjoy this moment with us. This year marks 10 years since the inaugural Invictus Games, London 2014. Physically and mentally, it's given me a new sense of drive to succeed and achieve new things. Tilly Fisher. Very cool. And then over here on the right, it says lots of smiling faces at St. Paul's Cathedral to mark the 10 years of Invictus Games Foundation. Oh, somebody brought their furry companion. Very cool. Very, very cool. Okay. And I didn't actually get a chance to see the service. I don't think anybody carried the service live. They were outside, but we did get some images from inside, which is what I shared. Thank you, Invictus, for giving me my mom back. Thank you, Invictus, for giving me my wife back. Thank you, Invictus, for giving me my life back. John, Maya, and Michelle Turner. Oh, that's so sweet. Oh, they must have given a speech. Wow, that is so cool. That had to be very emotional. And this is one of the squatties, you guys. The video that she took, her hand was literally shaking. It was the cutest thing. I mean, just trembling with excitement. How cool is that? But yeah, there was a couple of squatties. I lost my nerve at the last minute. I'm just like, I didn't get permissions from her, so I didn't want to share her photo. But she had on this beautiful black lace nude illusion dress and some nice shoes and a fancia. Yes, she looked every bit the aristocrat. Very sweet photo. So if you're listening, um, again, I lost my nerve, but you look absolutely beautiful. And of course, you guys know how Harry is about his bagpipes. And yes, there was bagpipes. So I'm happy about that. And you see where the guy is standing right there. Well, beneath there's a grate. There's a grate to the crypt downstairs. And if you guys recall, when Harry and Meghan were walking to their seats and they separated to go around the grate and back together again, well, that's it right there. And here's Harry greeting the fam. How cool is that? So I believe those are his aunts there. And of course, there's Uncle Charles, the Earl Spencer, he who holds the title. And here's a throwback of Harry speaking to his aunt. Of course, the Spencers came out in force to support Harry when they unveiled the statue of Diana. And if I recall, they seemed to spend the bulk of their time talking to Harry. I don't even remember them having a conversation with Willie Leaks. But who would want to talk to him and it'd end up in the tabloids? And of course, again, Earl Spencer. Now, I believe that's Louis Spencer, and he is the future Earl Spencer. So that is his cousin. I think I have another image of him somewhere. But yeah, look at how happy he is. Well, let the tabloids tell you, oh, he was just so heartbroken and downtrodden and just so severely hurt and wounded that those misfits went to a garden party. Look at there. Someone did a selfie, and if you look in the background, you can see Harry. Take a look on the right, and I kind of zoomed into it right there. I think that's one of the guys from the train, right? Yeah, the guy third one over. I think that's the guy from the train. And of course, there's David Wiseman back there on the left, and on the right side, is it AJ? AJ? No, JJ Abrams. Oh man. Anyway, that's Harry's friend that was wounded, severely wounded, and survived. And of course, he is a part of the Invictus. Oh, Big Mama, thank you so much. You like the blue background, huh? That one right there. Yeah, that's one of the ones I use from time to time. Sometimes I forget I have it, but fortunately today I grabbed it out of here. And of course, that is the crypt of, should I say, the tomb of Horatio Nelson, Admiral Nelson, the war hero Nelson, who died from what? He got hit with a cannonball on the ship or whatever, and I think he laid there wounded with one eye, one arm, and all that. And he was like, "Have I done my duty?" or something like that. But I think that's the guy. J.J. Chalmers, thank you. J.J. Chalmers, thank you, Jermaine. So, you guys, this is what I was talking about the other day. The one thing that really made me a little queasy about visiting the St. Paul's is when I had to go to the loo. I didn't feel right, taking a whiz only footsteps away from the grave of Horatio Nelson. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was a bit, you know, disrespectful. But that's where they have the restroom is downstairs. So I had no choice but to take a whiz, take a little wee wee next to the crypt of Horatio Nelson and what other heroes they have there. And if you haven't figured this out yet, I do believe that that is beneath the dome, the great dome of St. Paul's. Yes, that is beneath the dome. You can see the circular columns holding up the place. Prince Harry supported by Uncle Charles Spencer at Invictus ceremony in London. The Duke's father, King Charles, hosted a garden party at the same time of the service. And let's see, you can see here Prince Harry's uncle Earl Spencer and Aunt Lady Jane Fellows have arrived at St. Paul's Cathedral for the Invictus 10th anniversary service. You know what I was thinking too? Is it possible that Charles was so shady that rather than having the garden party on the weekend, he deliberately made sure that it was on a Wednesday just to interfere with Harry's plans or to at least come up with a plausible excuse? I wonder. Who cares? Yes, the Spencers was there. A promise made is a promise kept. And that is Louis Spencer, Harry's cousin. And again, you can see one of the squaddies. This one is wearing a white lace dress at St. Paul's. She's holding the program there. TMCD, thank you so much for the super chat. A big shout out to our UK squaddies showing up. And they did. They showed up and they showed out. I repeat, they showed up and they showed out. So thank you, TMCD, for that, because definitely that should not go unnoticed that they were there and screaming loud and throwing all kind of support at the Duke of Sussex. Well, you heard them. You heard them. Okay, one more. You should stop on the steps. You think so? All right. And of course, you know what? Through whatever adversity, the fact that Harry is always able to give a smile because he's a happy person at heart. He's a happy person at heart, and that anybody would be cruel and selfish and mean spirited enough to try to take his joy away from him. Anybody that petty and ridiculously mean, well, sometimes they just deserve what they get. And then, of course, there was the exit. Well, Harry walked out of there. There were some people that thought he had left already, but no, some of them stuck around. And they realized that he was coming out of what I think was the side door. I think they had some type of reception there, just a short reception. But, they didn't just leave immediately. And Harry stuck around for a while, and there's a great slow motion video that is dead center at the top of the steps, and I wish I could share that one with you, of Harry emerging out of the darkness, but it has, Getty across the middle of it. So I did not want to risk it, but It is a great, 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 great video, and I adore it. But unfortunately, I am unable to share it with you. But I hope at some point you all can find it. Okay, so yeah, he emerged out the side there, and then he just waded right into the crowd where he shook hands and was greeting people, and they were just, like I said, no eggs, no booze. Just a very well behaved, happy crowd. Um, and of course, they were so excited that they had a chance to meet the Duke of Sussex. So, got a little sound bite I'm going to play for you. It seems as though GB News was forced to say some pleasant things about our Duke and, the People's Prince. Looks like they were forced to say some pleasant things about him. And you know what? Nobody's asking for anything, but just be fair. Just be fair. That's all we want.
Very much, it is fair to say, huge support for the Duke of Sussex here outside St Paul's Cathedral in the sunshine. Of course, it is a big achievement for Prince Harry. He will see it as a big achievement. 10 years of the Invictus Games, 23 nations with over 500 competitors taking part. The whole ethos of the Invictus Games is through sport you can change lives and also save lives. Invictus is Latin for unconquered, and as you said, Martin, Prince Harry is expected to give a reading inside the St Paul's Cathedral as part of this 10-year anniversary service. The actor Damian Lewis will also be reading the Invictus poem. That poem, written in the Victorian times by William Henley, his bust, his memorial bust, inside the crypt of St Paul's Cathedral. The poem is known for its themes of willpower and strength in the face of huge challenges, alluding to the plight of amputees back in Victorian times, and that kind of ethos ringing through to injured servicemen and women from wars such as Iraq, such as Afghanistan, and many others as well. As I said, 23 nations, 500 competitors. And there's been 1,000 friends and family as well, and it's all about supporting those veterans and very much for taking part that counts. The ethos of the Invictus Games is not about the medals table as it is for the Paralympics or the Olympic Games, something perhaps the Invictus Games is based on, but it's very much about taking part and each individual veteran's journey. There's very much...
Well, looks like somebody learned a big word today, the ethos. And what is our big word today? Ethos. What does it mean? But yes, it looks like Junior learned a big word and he wants everybody to know it. Somebody's been thumbing through the old thesaurus, have we? Good for him. I would have done that myself, but it's not within my ethos. I don't have the ethos for it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, and truthfully, I don't know what an ethos is. And now that I'm, over a certain age, I'm not even sure I could reach it. I'm not sure I could reach my ethos. Ever have a itchy ethos? Surely there's some medicated salve for that. Or how about an antibacterial ointment? Huh? Anyway, how did we get on this subject? Okay, let me continue then. I think I'm going to do that. Try to find me a big word. But that was, what, I shouldn't make fun. He was fair, right? He was fair. So hit it, Harry. Uh-oh, did I do that wrong? Okay, there we go. Oh, that was too short, wasn't it? I guess I don't have the whole video. Uh-oh.
Healing by the one Spirit. To another, the working of miracles. To another, prophecy. To another, the discernment of spirits. To another, various kinds of tongues. To another, the interpretation of tongues. All these are activated by one and the same Spirit, who allots to each one individually, just as the Spirit chooses.
Oh, that was beautiful. Harry read Corinthians, and that was lovely. Thank you, Harry. Oh, look at there. See how he just waded into the crowd? Yes, very eloquent, right, B10 pal? And by the way, thank you so much for being here. Look at that crowd. Look at that crowd, a tapestry of humanity. People from all over the world gathered right there in front of the St. Paul's Cathedral, a cathedral which was targeted during the Second World War. It was such a symbol of the nation that they thought, what better way to demoralize the British people than to take out the St. Paul's Cathedral? But somehow, even though they were using those incendiary devices, which were designed to just linger and burn, there was a whole crew of volunteers who would have none of that. And anyway, and so it survives today. Beautiful church. Sir Christopher Wren, the architect. And check out the name right there. I don't know if you recognize that name, but guess who wasn't at the garden party and decided to come to St. Paul's? Guess who wasn't at the garden party and decided it's better if I go over to St. Paul's? Yes, Getty has once again used the talents of Chris Jackson. Chris Jackson, great photographer. Chris Jackson has taken some very, very nice photos, beautiful photos of the Sussexes. So, yeah, better here than over there, right? Look at how happy he is. That's better than any old stuffy garden party. And he's helping someone do their selfie. Is it a selfie? I don't know. But anyway, that's nice of him to help. And she's going to go home. Oh, Harry grabbed my arm. He helped me take the photo. How sweet. Okay, y'all. I got to go. But thank you all so much for coming. Now, this is how the shady Daily Fail covered things. The Royal Rift. Oh, they were in a feeding frenzy. As you can see, they put one of those little stupid maps. So Willie was trying to hang on to those trinkets instead of throwing them all over the place. You know how he is when he has to give out those little trinkets. Isn't that why we call him Sway Sway? Huh? Isn't that why we call him Sway Sway? B10 Pow, 27 months membership. Thank you so much. Wow, 27 months. I am so happy about that. Thank you so much. And I'm so happy you're here. And of course, take a look at Camilla with her easy access zipper front dress. She loves those dresses with the zipper in the front. She doesn't look like a new mom to me. So what is the reason for that? I have no idea. but she loves those zipper fronts. I'm going to have a talk with her about that. And apparently, it was all hands on deck at the garden party, lest anybody should wander over to St. Paul's. And then there's another one. They changed the words. Worlds apart. Royal rift. Worlds apart. Or as Barbara Walters would say, royal rift and royals award. Yes, royals award. Royals award. I would rather be Harry in that finely tailored suit instead of walking around looking like a fugitive from a Monopoly game like Charles the Third. Charles looks like he just escaped a Monopoly board game. So King Charles delivers a harsh message of rejection to Prince Harry. Was it harsh or was it petty? You know, there's a difference. There's harsh and then there's petty. I'm going to say it was petty. Yeah, I'm going to go with petty. Olivia Johnson, thank you, Baron, for all your hard work and dedication to our Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Well, thank you, Olivia Johnson, and thank you for being a member for 8 months. 8 months. Thank you so much for that. So, in the small print, let me see here. I'm going to have to try to make that bigger because I wanted to add to that small print. Oh, that doesn't help a whole lot. Let me see. Nope, that don't help either. Okay, never mind. It couldn't have been that important. If it was important, they would have made it bigger. Okay, I got it now. I got it. It says King Charles ordered all working royals to Buckingham Palace for a garden party, leaving Harry utterly isolated by his family as he attended a special Invictus ceremony alone. Alone? Alone? Did they write this before the event started? Did they write this before? Because I don't imagine he was alone. As a matter of fact, I know he wasn't alone. He had family there. He had family there, especially the family that isn't petty and the family that matters. He had family there. What are you talking about, Tom Sykes? No wonder his name is Tom Sykes. Psych. That is a psych because he did have family there. And also, thank you to one of the squaddies who posted this. Well, let me see. Members of the British royal family and King of the United Kingdom. Member of the British royal family and King of the United Kingdom. Well, let me see. Who got the most traction today? Ooh, I don't know. Who is that in the blue? Oh, that's Harry. And who is that that's flatlined several times throughout the day? Oh, that's Charles III. But he's the king, shouldn't he? Never mind. Oh, well, Harry seems to have gotten the most attention today. Love wins movement. I'm not sure. I could imagine it does. Now, when they say that all of the working royals, does that include Prince Edward and Duchess Sophie, who feels disappointed by Charles' royal title snub? Are those considered the working royals? Huh. Well, I guess. I mean, how many working royals do they have? They make it sound like there was some 50 people that were excluded from going to the St. Paul's Cathedral. Jay Parks, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you for watching Royal Sussex. And thanks for the flower. And over here, what is that? What about William? Was William there? No, I think William was handing out trinkets, wasn't he? He didn't go to the garden party. Dying Charles tells William, "You won't be king." Prince's double life of rage issues and boozing exposed as monarch declares his son unfit to rule, says Star Magazine. So, yeah, maybe that's one of the working royals who barely works. Well, what about this other working royal? Kate's secret surgery is worse than anyone knows. Major operations amid eating disorder rumor. She's been in pain for months. What Prince William told the children, and Princess Anne's worst fears come true after King's cancer scare. Well, we found out it wasn't just a scare. Later on, we found out it was cancer. And mind you, this was printed before Charles made the announcement February 5th. This is dated February 5th, which means that it was already in print and on the newsstands. Seems like they kind of predicted that. So, Star Magazine seems like they get a lot of stuff right. Let's see here. Shadow's mom, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. And thank you for being here on this day where we're celebrating Invictus 10 years. Okay. And what about Kate? She probably wasn't there because she's still healing from her BBL. And as for the Duke of Kent, well, the Duke of Kent, he just stepped down, no doubt looking for that other piece of his ear that seems to have dropped off. But, oh, that's bad. But anyway, no doubt he's in the garden looking for that little piece of ear that he's missing. But yeah, the Duke of Kent, that poor guy, he should have retired a long time ago. And Lord knows if they don't find him a new hat. If they don't find him a new hat, I mean, that bearskin hat, I wonder if, did they call it bearskin because you can barely see any of his skin? Is that why they call it a bearskin hat? Because you can barely see any of his skin? Yeah, I don't know how he got up on that platform. I'm still trying to figure that out. So, yeah, if this is what they mean by the working royals that were prevented from going to the St. Paul's Cathedral, I'm afraid I'm just not impressed. And then, of course, there's Camilla. She couldn't possibly go. Number one, she wouldn't want to. And number two, Camilla, the queen, got to start calling her the queen because you know what? Camilla has a nation to run. Camilla couldn't be there because she has to govern a nation when she's not hitting the sauce, when she's not sitting around in her, undies, in her knickers, drinking gin and tonic or whiskey or whatever she consumes. Yeah, when she's not doing that, then I suppose she, yeah, she has a nation to run. So, of course, she wouldn't be one of the working royals to go to the St. Paul. She got too much conspiring to do. So, plus, according to the Globe and the Inquirer, she's, 3 sheets to the wind herself. So, between her and, no wonder, you know what? I just thought about this. No wonder William and Camilla get on so well with each other. They understand each other. They understand each other. Allegedly. If indeed both are alcoholics, allegedly, possibly, then of course they understand each other. They're old drinking buddies. Yeah, I could see why William has gone over to the other side because before he was old enough to buy it himself, someone may have been plying him with medication, uh, which is code for booze, allegedly. But someone may have been helping him loosen up, maybe. Wow, that just came to me. And of course, another reason why Camilla couldn't possibly go to the St. Paul's is because when she's not running the nation, when she's not lurking around Charles at the garden party, she's entering the Ernest Borgnine lookalike contest. So, of course, she's way too busy to do something like go to an Invictus 10-year anniversary. Do you know how much preparation it takes for her to go to these Ernest Borgnine lookalike contests? Okay, not much. Actually, she doesn't have to do much. I mean, she just kind of shows up, get the trophy, whatever prize money, and then go home. Rarely, rarely is there anyone who ever comes close to looking like Ernest Borgnine except for Camilla. I mean, there was some guy from Poughkeepsie one time who came close, but then Camilla finally got there, and and she won by a nose and a chin and a jaw and some other exaggerated features. So yeah, Lex says, "Can Camilla get through the church doors?" Well, I mean, she just jumped out of the carriage and trundled down. You know how she trundles into the church. But anyway, thank you so much for being here tonight, Lex. And what about Afro Annie? Afro Annie couldn't possibly go to St. Paul's because when she's not going to those lighthouses, when she's not launching ships in Canada, she has just joined something called the Royal Panther Party. It's where some racially ambiguous people who want to feel, tough and kind of streetwise, they all get together at the official Royal Panther Party, and they don't give out school lunches. No, instead they swap stories about their royal patronages and stuff like that. And of course, they also have the complimentary hair picks and pomades and sulfurate and stuff like that they share. So yes, Afro Annie, she couldn't possibly show up at something like that because she doesn't always do what Charles says, but she has a life of her own. So yeah. And then of course, it's not limited to that. I mean, Afro Annie has other pursuits, like for instance, the Christopher Walken lookalike contest. And just like the Queen Consort, usually she's the one that wins. Nobody ever comes any closer than Afro Annie. So when she's not at the Royal Panther Party gatherings, then she's usually at the Christopher Walken lookalike contest. Let's see. Is it Shelley Lefleur? Lefleur. Oh, Lefleur. Thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. Okay. And where are we at right here? Okay. Got it. And of course, so there are the four core members of the senior royals. And let's not forget Sophie and Eddie, because they too have a role to play. And I'm surprised that Eddie was there because I thought Edward would have been trying to find his way to the Metropolitan Museum because yesterday, as you know, Edwina has well, she kind of likes those maxi coats, and I'm pretty sure that Edwina would have tried to somehow talk Anna Wintour out of her maxi coat. I'll show you what I mean. So right here, there's our Edwina wearing her favorite maxi coat. And when I saw what Anna Wintour was wearing, I'm just like, oh yeah, oh yeah. Edwina would you know do a backflip for that. So let me see if I can find Anna Wintour's maxi coat. Is this it? Nope. I'll show you. I will show you. One of these days, he's going to trip over that. He is. He's going to trip over that coat. I love the red lining too. It's so risque with that muscular thigh protruding out of it. So risque. Uh-oh, I don't see it. Oh, well. I'm going to continue then. Yeah, I don't see it. Anyway, okay. And there. So, I'm not going to play this soundbite. I'm not going to play it. But Robert Jobson used tropes like Harry needs to grow up and he can't expect the king to just drop everything. Yeah, sure, the queen said he was her favorite and he could just drop by, but I mean, it was so ridiculous. This is why I said they seem to have dispatched all of the usual suspects to go out there and try to take the shine off of Harry's big day. And there's Robert Jobson, sweaty and gasping for air and looking for his CPAP. And yeah, well, Harry, he just has to grow up. He can't expect to. I mean, it was just disgusting. All of that gurgling and all those bodily sounds and fluids running and plopping and bubbling and it was disgusting. It was absolutely disgusting. So, like I said, it's too triggering. I'm not going to play it. Let's see, Marcelina Martinez. Thank you so much for the super sticker and thank you for watching Royal Sussex. And of course, Connie Balmer. Hey, Connie Balmer, thank you so much for being here and thank you for being a member of Royal Sussex, all the way from Switzerland. Thank you so much. Let's see. Marshall says Chuck put up with mating. Yes, yes. But yeah, and then of course, after he made that television appearance, then he finally was able to gasp for air, wipe some of that sweat. He's always sweating. He looks really bad here, though, doesn't he? Oh my God. And I can't help but think because things were going so well for Harry that they woke him up out of a sleep. He didn't even shave. He just got on television, gasping for air, and started trying to drag Harry. Yep, trying to drag Harry. And you know, he can't stand the Sussex squad because we call him out. He cannot stand the Sussex squad. I'll show you what I mean. Here's an example right here.
Right in the book about when they try to force that Fab Four thing on us during the Queen's death, you know, that sort of fake walkabout when they're supposed to be together, that Kate said to another member of the royal family that it was one of the hardest things she ever had to do. Now, then immediately on Twitter you get all those Sussex troll idiots saying, well, you need to get out more if that's the hardest thing she ever done. You know, but, you know, the point of it is that it was a very difficult
the point of it is the Fab Four. That was the hardest thing that she's ever had to do. Well, she may have had some difficult things, but it seems like one of the hardest things he ever does is get a sentence out. And then he goes to McDonald's and drowns his sorrow into that 40-piece McNugget. Well, you know he ain't going to stop at 20. So he gets that 40-piece McNugget and goes sit in a corner and think of all the stuff that he could make up. I mean, it was disgusting. It was absolutely disgusting. He was saying Harry needs to grow up, and and then let me tell you what else he said. He said that from what I hear, that Harry's people never did reach out with an invitation. He implied that Harry did not offer an invitation. In other words, Harry was lying, allegedly, by saying that they reached out with invitations, I guess implying that Harry was trying to somehow lie so that he could look like the good guy and make everybody else to be, all of which is untrue. All of which is untrue. Whatever did or did not happen, it's because of leaks that he's even saying anything. It's leaks and briefing. They did not send an invitation. That's a brief. That's a brief. That's the palace's side of the story. And why would they tell him that? Oh, I know why. Because they have to keep feeding him. Otherwise, things are going to get dodgy. I mean, look at him right there. He's got a glass of the king's wine. He literally hangs around the royal family, eating from the king's table, flying to these different engagements with Charles. And in between, what does he do? Snack and wipe sweat from his brow. I don't know. And then, of course, Afro Annie. Once again, you guys, you cannot count on her to do stuff like that because, I mean, after all, she has a very heavy schedule. And anyway, I think she might have been a bit overdressed if she did show up. We wouldn't want her galloping up to St. Paul's Cathedral dressed like Napoleon. You know, sometimes it's hard to get out of that uniform. So we wouldn't want her showing up, you know, in 2024 looking like the Battle of Waterloo. So plus, you know, now I have to change her name from Afro Annie to Admiral Annie because it appears as though Princess Anne has commandeered a ship. She has turned into Admiral Annie. Admiral Annie. Look at her standing there, just as tough as any other guy on the bridge. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, what is she doing? Afro Annie is handling her business. That's what she's doing. And anybody who says otherwise is running the risk of having her reach in her pocket and get them knuckle dusters out. Yep. And otherwise, Afro Annie still keeps her Newports, though. Yeah, she is the international spokesperson for Newports. So that's her favorite. She likes lighthouses. She likes dressing up like Napoleon, and she loves her Newports. As a matter of fact, you guys, you won't believe this, but I was prepping for tonight, and I actually found an old advertisement for Newports. Do you recognize that model? Huh? Do you recognize that model on the right side? I don't know about you guys, but that kind of looks like Afro Annie, doesn't it? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. It looks like her affection for Newports has driven her to actually join one of their ad campaigns. I was like, I know her. You know, at a glance, you almost wouldn't recognize her, but you take a good look at it, and there she is, just chilling. Yep, putting on her stacks and bell bottoms, and getting ready to go to the tavern with her friends. Yeah, I tell you, Afro Annie has a whole nother life that we didn't know nothing about. And then, of course, to round things out for tonight, you guys, I am almost done. But I could not help but notice this, that Camilla, I think because people keep saying that she looks like a particular, you know, a particular one of God's creatures, that she's been practicing smiling so that people won't keep saying that she looks like, well, that she looks like you know, a, a, a horse. I guess she's tired of people saying that she comparing her to a horse. So I was wondering why she kept making these faces. Well, obviously she's trying to figure out a way that she can see how, if she keep her lips together, that's the secret, is keep your lips together, and people won't compare you to National Velvet. People won't think you're Smarty Jones if you keep your lips together. But if you don't, then all bets are off. So yeah, she's been practicing, bless her heart. She's been practicing, bless her heart. You know, they say in the South, you can say anything you want long as you couch it properly. So bless her heart. And then lastly, Letizia of Spain has gone with a very practical shoe. She's wearing some sneakers because she fractured her toe. And because of the pain that she was in, she decided to wear sneakers, which I think is a good idea. It's probably much better than trying to endure that pain and, you know, have that prolonged, extended period of healing. So, cheers to Letizia. Whatever she wears, she always looks amazing. And anyway, she's one of my favorite royals. And with that, you guys, I am done, done, done. I am done. So I will see you all next time. Thank you so much. Well, y'all are getting out of here early tonight. Look like you all are getting out of here early. And I'm not going to drag it out either. I'm going to bid you all a very fond farewell and good night. Oh, cracking like clay. I've never heard that one before. I like it. Oh, thank you, Love Wins Movement. You're welcome, Shadow's mom. Oh, yeah, the fractured toe ain't no joke. It throbs, you know, having any kind of like swollen or fractured bone in your toes. Wow, that throbs. It just throbs, just like, Yeah, so I could imagine she was in a lot of pain. Yeah, I had fun tonight. Anyway, you guys, thank you all so much for joining us here on Royal Sussex. Thank you, moderators, for keeping this a safe space. Um, as always, and thank you all so much for going on 3 straight years of Royal Sussex. I forgot what the anniversary of Royal Sussex was. I used to know it, now I forgot. But it's okay. It's okay. We don't need to celebrate. Let's celebrate when we get to 5 years or 100,000 subscribers, whichever comes first. Also, whenever you see our queens, it is time to go, and you know what I mean. And alas, the last word of the day. How shall we close it out for today? Anyway, I'm proud of Harry. Very proud of Harry. The way he handles himself, especially going up against the weight of that institution and that standing army of cronies and handlers that they have, I think he has done an extraordinary job, especially, I mean, let's face it, Harry has had a life of privilege in comparison to most people in this world. However, he did not necessarily view it that way, and that's all that matters. It's not what we say it is what he experienced, and it doesn't seem like it was much of a privilege. Essentially, his life was that of being in service to his queen, his commander in chief, and then eventually he would be farmed out to his father and his brother to kick around for the rest of his life. But God had other plans. God had other plans. So, in closing tonight, Invictus, out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeoning of chance, my head is bloody but not bowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade, and yet the menace of the years find and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how straight the gate, how changed or charged with punishment the scroll. I am the master of my faith, and I am the captain of my soul. So, thank you all very much. Love you. I will see you all next time. And let's ease on out of here with the Ginger Avenger. Wow, hour and 20 minutes. I can't believe it.